Welcome back. With so many products and brands competing for consumers' attention in today's market, many just get tuned out. So how can companies make their brands truly memorable? I put that question to branding consultant Karen Post, author of the new book, Brain Tattoos.
Years ago, when we first started hearing about branding, we thought big ad campaigns, multi-million-dollar efforts. But branding really works and is important for small businesses too, and it's more focused on the experience that the customer has versus all your paid-for promotion.
So how do you get it in there? How do you get it in the brain? Give me some of the steps.
Well, there's 4 pieces to the brand or the brain tattoo. The first one is you have to clearly know who you are and what you're about. You need to be different, absolutely distinct, and that doesn't mean better customer service or more quality product, but something that's truly unique. You've got to have a personality, just like a person, and you've got to be able to consistently deliver on a promise.
Let's talk about some of the examples that you have here. What's perhaps the best example of a company that's been able to take these concepts and really put it to use?
Well, I think a great example is Monster.com. For years, there were companies that provided resume services and employment services, and they were called Superior Recruitment, blah, 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 all very similar, swimming
Large,
in this,
corporate kind
swimming
of
in the sea of sameness. Then Monster came along, and they took what a lot of people perceived as a downtime in your life when you're unemployed, turned it on its head, infused it with tons of personality, came up with this group of characters, these monsters, and Monster.com is a great brand.
What types of businesses is it most important to brand?
Well, everyone has a brand. The day that you open your doors for business, you have a natural brand. The smart companies are the ones that are conscious of their brand, work from a plan, and then are consistent with their messaging. But as an individual, you have a brand. I have a brand. And so if you're a salesperson and you're trying to break through the clutter by branding yourself just like you would a product is really important.
Now, one of the other companies that you mentioned are doing this well, Singular Wireless.
Their messaging and their brand is very hip and contemporary, and that's important because those are hot buttons that will make that market buy versus some of the other ones that, you know, just look like technology companies that are kind of boring. You know, lose the boring. If you want a brand, you've got to have some fun, do things that are really unique and that stand out.
Would it make sense to find some sort of technology or industry that seems boring right now because nobody's put their tattoo on it and figure out a way to actually get that done?
Absolutely. You know, the more boring industry you operate in, the bigger the opportunity. So when companies, you know, come to me and they say, well, we're nervous, we're not going to look like our competitors. Well, that's a good thing. And you're going to get resistance. You know, if you look at every great brand, Southwest Airlines, Apple, any of those, they left a comfort zone and they went somewhere that was not traveled by the other people in their category. And so you've got to have courage if you're going to brand and brain tattoo well.
So when a company comes to you and says we want to incorporate these concepts, help us with that. How do you set it up? How do you help them?
Well, I go through those 4 pieces that I mentioned, really understanding why are they here. Are they here to build stockholder value? Are they here to do something to the community? Are they here to build their business and then turn it over to their children? So their goals must clearly be defined, and then you align those with your brand and your brain tattoo as you're establishing it. And then the second most important piece is figuring out how you're different, which is hard for people. They always want to say, oh, it's our customer service, it's our quality product. Those are not points of difference. A point of difference can be a color. UPS, they're the brown guys. You know, they certainly deliver, but they're the brown guys. But like if you look at Target, they're one of, I think, the best branding companies around. You know, they operated in a category that there were many players who sold the same merchandise, but they broke away. They became this trendy, hip, fun, full of design. That's a point of difference, and they do a great job. So if you look at a bigger company and you're a smaller company, you can apply a lot of the same things, like how they use their logos. I mean, in Times Square yesterday, some great billboards, wonderful photography, and their logo becomes just part of life, which is, you know, a small company can do that too.
Karen Post, author of Brain